Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so great to see you, especially the comments that I heard. I don't know whether I should do the presentation or one of you should join me in my presentation. Okay, my name is Ebrahim Asmal. I'm a senior lecturer at the Department of Information Technology. I'm with Dr. Maliga Reddy at the Durban University of Technology. If you need to contact me, those are my contact details. All right, so my topic for today basically is the role for IR and the role that it plays in local government. All right, my presentation is broken up into three parts. The first part is to explain to you what is 4IR. All right. A lot of times we go to presentations, and I remember one presentation I was doing to IT teachers. And I said IoT. And I was going on this lecture, and suddenly halfway through the lecture, somebody picks up their hand and says, "What is IoT?" All right. So I know these terms are really confusing, so I'm going to go through some of the terms. It's just going to explain to you what is 4IR about. It sounds threatening, but really it's not. Then I'm going to go a little bit over what is the role of local government. And I see a lot of that is already plastered on the walls out here. Service delivery, finance on that one, etc. So bear with me if it's a little boring. That was more for me, I think. And then I'm going to tie the two in together. How are we going to use 4IR in local government, and why do we need to use 4IR in local government? Okay? But before I go on to that, I just want to explain something to you. That any job that you do, okay, or any studies that you are pursuing, today's world, it is all multidisciplinary. There's no job that you can do on its own. And I'm going to use a few examples. I think Ms. Kwabe and there's somebody speaking on procurement, etc. I'm just going to use that as an example. Okay? You are a procurement officer. You know your job, how to procure, right? But you cannot perform your job if you do not have other skills. What other skills am I talking about? How are you going to use that computer? How are you going to process your order? So you need IT knowledge. You need accounting knowledge. You need some mathematical knowledge. Not actuarial sciences, not to that level, but you need to know some mathematics. You also need to have what we call soft skills. Absolutely critical. There is no job out there that you can perform without having some sort of soft skills. And what soft skills I'm talking about? One, how to present, like what I'm doing here. Two, how to write your reports. So you need to know how to read, you need to know how to write. Because you can have the greatest ideas, but if you don't know how to express these ideas, they are absolutely useless. All right? Those bells and fancies that you have are absolutely critical. You'll notice my slides don't have much on them. Why? I'm supposed to be an interesting one, not the slides. All right? The slides are just a guide. You need to be listening to me. I'm supposed to be this. I am boring. That is going to be boring. All right? You've seen some people come with slides with tons of stuff on there. Yo, why are you presenting then? I can just read your slide. All right? Okay, so that's one thing. So I'm going to move into what's 4IR. 4IR firstly stands for the Fourth Industrial Revolution. That's all it is. All right? But what does it mean? In its simplest form, if I had to define it, it would be using technology. Hardware, software. You all are part of this digital world. You all are using technology. You have WhatsApp. You have Twitter, you're using Facebook, you're using technology. What we also found when we talk about technology is that we are getting a digital divide. We're having the haves and we're having the have-nots. And we're creating this digital divide. And with any industrial revolution, okay, I'm going to come to that just now, some things are just standard. The rich are going to get richer, the poor are going to get poorer. That is given. All right. What else? You're going to get a digital divide? Happening already. We can see it. So how do we close this digital divide? That's important. So what we did was, we looked around. And we realized that, and we mostly concentrated on the poor and the rural areas. They don't have laptops. They don't have desktops. That means already, from grade R, your schooling, to people working there, whatever, your small businesses, whatever, are going to be left behind. So how do we address the situation? What we did find, however, is that everybody has a phone. Your phone is a computer. So why can't we use that phone to close that digital divide? And that's exactly what we've done. Last year, we've trained over 5,000 people from rural areas on how to use your mobile device effectively. You don't need a fancy laptop. You don't need everything that you do on your desktop and your laptop, you can do on your phone. But do we know how to use it? So we had a course called Mobile Literacy, and we ran it for free. Okay? To try to get that close that digital divide. Okay? And everybody has a cell phone, so let's use that for our lectures, for our presentations, for our reports, or whatever the case may be. Okay? And we found that it is working. So, when I spoke about industrial revolutions, this is the fourth one. We had the first industrial revolution, which was mechanization, steam power. We went through the second industrial revolution, which was mass production, Ford Motor Companies, etc. We went through the third industrial revolution, which is automation. And now, we're in the middle of the fourth industrial revolution. Using technology, cyber systems, Internet of Things, networks, security becomes a major issue. And just to mention, cybersecurity is absolute. You are going to get hacked, no matter what you do. Whether it's your work, whether it's your cell phone, whether it's your laptop, your desktop, your company website, you are going to get hacked. It happened to government, okay? And that's why government has come to us. And we are now running a cybersecurity course for people in the ministries. And I think we're starting that project, in the next month, where we have a cybersecurity course from the ministers all the way down. Okay? Because it is absolutely critical. As he said, you have been hacked at the office. Yes. How do you recover from it? So where to from here? We're already moving to the fifth industrial revolution. We haven't even finished the fourth yet. We're already moving to the fourth industrial revolution. It's coming very, very quickly. What is the fourth industrial revolution? We move that barrier between physical and virtual. Where you might be sitting at home, but you feel as if you are in this presentation using what we call virtual reality technologies. You all know, you've used Facebook. What is Facebook now called? Meta. Why Meta? Talking about not the universe anymore, we're talking about the metaverse, the virtual world. And we're moving towards that. So, what is consistent in all of these is the impact on people's way of life. And technology is speeding this up. What do I mean by that? Simply, the way we live has changed. The way we play has changed. The way we work has changed. Look at it 10 years ago or 5 years ago to now to the next 5 years. It is changing rapidly. When I grew up, I was playing games like Gulli Danda and Three Tins and climbing the mango tree. How many of you even heard of those games? I think, okay, why? Right? The rest of you? You were into computer games, online games. You've never played those games before, hopscotch, and remember the fun that we used to have? Right? It was all outdoor type of game. And things have changed. Right? The way we do our business, the way we do our work, everything has changed. Right? So it's impacting. So we end off with what we call a 4IR skills conundrum, which is, and this might surprise you, we are currently preparing students for jobs that do not even exist yet. More than 50% of all jobs by the year 2030 are going to be non-existent. You're going to be replaced by robots. All your menial tasks. Okay? There's going to be mass unemployment or loss of jobs. That's a given. We know that. By the year 2030, half of the current US population will not be in the jobs they are in. But does that mean? Yes, you're going to lose jobs. But also, to be on the bright side, millions and millions of new jobs are going to be created. So you need to reskill, you need to upskill yourself. Your degree and your diploma is not going to be enough. You have to go on short courses to upskill yourself. Reskill yourself. And we are big into that right now. Because, oops, what happened here? Okay, that's one. Excuse me. We are using technologies. We are going to be using technologies that haven't even been invented as yet. New things are coming out all the time. 3, we're going to try to, in order to solve problems that we don't even know as yet. And what has pushed us all forward? COVID. COVID has forced us into a lot of things, like online teaching. Okay? At our university, we are still online. We haven't allowed students back as yet. All right? And a lot of people had to change, and had to change very, very quickly, whether they liked it or not. Online teaching is not new. LMSs are not new, learning management systems. They're not new. I've been using it for the last 20 years. My first online lecture, I think, was in 2005. We're in 2022. But people did not change and adapt. Now, suddenly, because of COVID, they were forced to learn, reskill, upskill, so that they could do their job. Otherwise, as a lecturer, for example, if you did not know how to use the technologies, how were you going to give your lecture? That means you would have lost your job. Because you did not reskill yourself. And that's important. I'm just going to give you some example of 4IR, basically. Let's just see if this plays. This is a robot called Pepper.
I'm Pepper. My internet address is 192.168.0.136. English today.
Good morning, Pepper.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm always feeling good. Thank you. How's it going?
Good. What is your name?
You can call me now.
Neil, where are you from?
Conversation with robots.
What can you do? Neil?
I can sing if you want me to, or we can just have a talk.
Dance for me? Or sing for me?
That's now. That's not tomorrow. That's not 5 years from now. That is now. Okay, now N-O-W. That is N-E-O, right? That's now. Okay, those are robots that we have at the university already. Okay, we are programming those robots to be able to converse with you in multiple languages. We are looking at the 11 South African languages right now. Is it 11? Yeah, I think so. The 11 South African languages right now. They are going to be trained. So when you walk in, you'll be talking to one of those. That is the reality of it. See, that is what 4IR is all about. Using technology to look at your jobs. Will a robot replace you? Yes, it can at some point. Right? So, moving away from that, let's look at local government. This is the structure of South Africa, basically. Right? So we have the cabinet right on top, we have the parliament, we have provincial government, and we have local government. I assume most of us fall, or most of you fall within that last sphere, which is local government. And within local government, we got your large municipalities like eThekwini, we have district councils, and we have local councils. Okay, that is the structure. Am I correct? Okay, I've got it from your website, so it should be. I shouldn't be messing that all up. Okay, so what is the purpose of local governments? Okay, and you can see it around here. Right? Local governments were designed with the purpose of creating order in ways that serve the general public. That is your job. You are responsible to the public for mainly, there's it here, always Salga, inspiring service delivery. Sorry, I didn't see that before I came here, okay? But I put it down there. It's service delivery. Okay? So, next question I have. Oh, sorry, before I get to the question. So, there was a local government turnaround strategy, and this is from your website. Okay? Was introduced as a government program of action and blueprint, again, for better service delivery, aimed at responsive, accountable, effective, and efficient local government. Look at the CFO there. It's all there as well on that poster. Okay. There were 5 focus areas to fast track this. And the 5 focus areas are, 1 again, service delivery. 2, governance. 3, financial management. 4, infrastructure development. And fraud and corruption, fighting corruption. Okay, that's where I got it from, the local government at www.gov.za. So my question to you, is this happening? Do we have service delivery? I don't think. I'm from the other side. Do we have service delivery? The answer is no. You might say yes, because you're working there. I'm from the outside. There is no service delivery, as far as I'm concerned, at a level that we should be. Just last week, okay, the DSW or whatever has said that they cannot pick up dirt from a particular area because they don't have the vehicles. And when you went back and looked at it, they were allocated 570 million to buy new trucks, which is not there, which hasn't been done for the last 2 years. So, answer is no. For me, there's no service. The service delivery is not at the level that it should be. You need to fix that. Sorry, I'm just going to go back here. Let's go. What has happened here? Sorry, something's happened here. Do we have governance? Yes, on paper we do. For the example that I just gave you, it wasn't proper governance because I allocated 570 million to you, but what happened to the money? Why didn't you buy it? Yes, you should know. You are local government. You can't say, I don't know. As I heard someone say, I don't know. Right? It's your job. How can you tell me you don't know? 3, is there financial management, proper financial management? Again, answer yes or no? Yes, I would say no. I would say no. Just on Monday's paper, 3 water departments, I won't say which district, 300 million rand irregular expenditure. And we're not seeing that once a year or once in 5 years or whatever. Almost every week, some municipality is being in trouble. And you are local government. You are working there. When I say you, I don't mean specifically you. I'm generalizing, all right? So don't take it personally, all right? Exactly, right? So, as a general public who's paying my taxes, I am reading about this on a daily basis. So my answer again would be no. Infrastructure development? You think we got infrastructure development? Yes, I would say no. We won't be having a water shortage crisis right now. We got plenty of rain. Our dams are full. But we've got water cuts 8 hours a day. Where's your infrastructure development? There is no infrastructure development because you've been stealing half the money. That's what I am seeing from the outside. Right? There's been no maintenance done. That is why we're ending up in this situation. Yesterday's paper, the minister in charge of potholes hits a pothole, car overturns in hospital. The person in charge. Your boss. Isn't that ridiculous? I'm serious. Isn't that ridiculous? So again, my answer is no. Okay? My answer. Remember, I am the general public. I am not working in local government. Right? Fighting corruption, we have to fight. There is so much of fraud. Right? Just last week, there was an article in the newspaper. The guys from the lower level of one of the departments, eThekwini, they are living the lives of millionaires. They did a lifestyle audit and they found that they have houses in Sherwood and BMWs over 700 million. They are the lowest workers. I'm looking at the infrastructure, at the lowest structure. Over 700 million rand they have siphoned off the system. Right? Again, you see, I'm looking at it from the other side. Now you know why we hate you. So, is that not? What hell is going on? Right? We are going to stand in queues and queues and queues and queues, everything that we need to get done. What do we need to get done as ordinary citizens? That's what I need to do every year, every 1 or 2 years. That's what I need to do. I need to get a motor vehicle license. Oh my God. I got to stand in a queue. I need to get my ID card. I need to get my passport. Yo, really? I'll give you an example. I needed a passport because I was going to the US and I needed to apply for my visa, and they wanted the passport to be at least 6 months before it expires. So I had a passport, it wasn't expired, but I needed to get another passport to get my visa. I stood 4 days in the queue at Home Affairs in Amgeni Road. 4 days. Notice how much of production we are losing. The one day, I was right in the front of the queue, number 1, at 3:15, and they said closed. Now you see my frustration. What did I have to do? I was now desperate. I had to pay somebody 400 rands. You know, there's entrepreneurs standing outside, they put somebody in the queue. I hated doing that, but I had absolutely no choice. I had to be in the US, I had to get my visa, I had to get my passport. I had to pay someone 400 rand, and it was done in half an hour. Now my next dilemma is, I need my driver's license. Yo. Been there. Have you been there? And now they're charging 700 rand. Serious, I hate to pay that. I don't want to pay that because that is correct. But I have no choice. So as soon as you go and park the car there, the guard will run to you and says, can organize it for you, 700 rand. And one of my friends who's a doctor, he's a specialist, he can't wait there the entire day in the queue. There are people dying in hospital, he needs to get to the hospital. He had to pay, he paid the 700 rand. Within half an hour, everything was done. But what about those poor people waiting in that queue? You and I might be able to afford it. Cool. Okay, sorry, I got 5 minutes. All right? Guys, I'm going to go past this so you can see where I'm going with this. So how would we address these situations and make our systems more efficient? Introduce technology. Why can't I get my driver's license online? What's the problem? Why can't I apply for my passport online? What is the problem? Okay? We need to use technology to get rid of all those queues. So, why 4IR in local government and using technology? 1, improve service delivery. And I just simply said no more queues. Okay? It's obviously much more than that. Improve government, we will have accountability. Because we use technologies like blockchain, etc. Improve financial management, we'll have better decision making. Prevent fraud and corruption. Systems are there, they don't lie. Identify problems in our infrastructure development. Example, eThekwini electricity. Before I had to phone every time my power went off or something went wrong. Now, I can just do it via WhatsApp and it is quite efficient. I want my bills, there's e-services. Immediately I can get, right now, log on, this is what I owe eThekwini. For my lights, for my water, for my rates, for an example. What have they done? I don't have to go and stand in that queue anymore. I don't have to wait 2 hours on the phone for somebody to be rude to me on the other end and then the call gets cut off. You ever try that? How many times has happened to us? WhatsApp, put your details in there, immediately it sends you a reference number. Wow, we use technology. You made my life a whole lot easier. Kudos to you. And I love those systems. He said 5 minutes, so that's why I'm rushing through. Okay, so it's about technologies. Implement technologies. Find better ways of doing your work. And these are your different technologies, your 4IR technologies. From augmented reality, virtual reality, robotics, 3D printing, machine learning, drones, everything won't be used in your job, but depending on the type of job that you are doing, you will use that type of technology. Like evaluating your properties. Use a drone. Fly the drone over. We will know everybody who's done extensions without plans, etc., and we can increase the rates immediately. Your attitude. Very, very important. A lot of times, when we, after joining that queue and reaching the first, this is what we get, your sour lemons. South Africa has forgotten how to smile. We were supposed to be a smiling nation. And this is aimed directly at you. Right? You need to be that. When I come to the queue and I see you, there should be good morning. Just the other day, I went to MTN offices here, multi-choice. Yeah, down the road, because I had a problem with my decoder. Walked in, hardly anybody in there. I walked to the receptionist, and she's busy chatting with the security guard. Does not tell me morning, how many decoders you got? That's what the question was to me. Sorry, 2, go there. That is not service I expect, and I don't expect that service from you as well. I sat there for an hour. She did that to every person that walked in. And she continued talking with the security guard. Even when I left, she was still talking with the security guard. This is what we are seeing from the outside. Okay? So, attitude is very, very important. Smile. Doesn't cost you a cent. The people that are coming to you are paying your salary. Local government is not about profit. It's about providing service delivery. Thank you so much.